When I talk about improving your personality, I always say, start with yourself, not the version of you that you show to the world, but the one that quietly sits behind your smile, your laughter, your words, and your fears. You see, most of us spend our lives trying to impress others, trying to fit into a mold, trying to become what people expect us to be. But the truth is, you can never truly grow until you know who you are. Self-awareness is not about judging yourself. It's about understanding yourself, your emotions, your habits, your triggers, your dreams, and the stories that made you who you are. When was the last time you sat with yourself and asked, why do I react the way I do? Why do I get angry so quickly? Why do I fear failure? These questions are not comfortable, but growth never happens in comfort. It happens in reflection. When you pause to observe your thoughts, when you become conscious of your reactions, you begin to see the patterns that silently control your life. And once you see them, you can change them. That's where real transformation begins. Sometimes we're so busy fixing the outside world, our looks, our image, our achievements, that we forget to fix what's within. But you can't build a strong house on a shaky foundation, and you can't build a strong personality without understanding your inner self. Take time every day to reconnect with your heart. Journal your thoughts, talk to yourself honestly, listen to your inner voice that often gets drowned in the noise of others. That voice will tell you what you truly need, what you truly want, and who you're truly meant to be. You will realize that self-awareness isn't always beautiful. Sometimes it will show you the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, your insecurities, your pain, your past mistakes, but don't run from them. Face them with courage, because those scars you carry, they are not weaknesses, they are reminders that you've survived. The moment you start accepting them, you free yourself from the need to hide, and when you stop hiding, your personality begins to shine naturally. People with true presence are not perfect, they are genuine. They have made peace with who they are. That's why when they walk into a room, they don't need to speak loudly. Their energy speaks for them. They are comfortable in their own skin, and that comfort invites others to feel the same. That's the magic of self-awareness. It makes you real, it makes you humble, and it makes you whole. So every morning when you wake up, don't rush to fix your hair or pick your outfit first. Take a moment to look in the mirror and ask, how am I feeling today? What energy am I carrying into the world? Because when you know yourself, you can guide yourself. And when you guide yourself, you can transform yourself. That's where improvement truly begins. Not in becoming someone else, but in finally coming home to who you already are. If there's one quality that can instantly transform your personality, it's kindness. Not the kind that needs recognition or applause, but the quiet, genuine kindness that flows from a compassionate heart. The world we live in often teaches us to be competitive, to be louder, to prove ourselves, but it rarely reminds us to be kind. Yet true strength doesn't lie in how much you can achieve. It lies in how softly you can touch the lives of others while achieving it. Kindness is not weakness, it's power under control. It's the ability to stay gentle in a world that can be harsh. It's choosing to understand when it's easier to judge, and forgiving when it's easier to hold a grudge. When you start practicing kindness every day, you begin to notice how your personality changes. Your words become softer, your tone calmer, and your presence more peaceful. People are drawn not to those who are perfect, but to those who make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Sometimes all someone needs is a smile or a kind word to remind them that the world still has good in it. Maybe the person sitting next to you is fighting a battle you can't see. Maybe someone's silence is their loudest cry for help. When you choose kindness, you become a light for them, not by solving their problems, but by reminding them they're not alone. And what's beautiful is that light reflects back on you, because the more kindness you give, the more peace you find within yourself. There will be days when it's hard to be kind, when someone hurts you, disrespects you, or disappoints you. In those moments, remember this. Kindness doesn't mean tolerating wrong. It means choosing not to let bitterness live in your heart. It means responding with grace, even when you're misunderstood. It means protecting your peace, but without closing your heart. Every time you choose empathy over anger, you rise above the activity that tries to pull you down. You see, people often forget what you said or did, but they never forget how you made them feel. Your kindness becomes your legacy. It travels far beyond your words. It stays in the hearts of people long after you're gone. And the more you give, the more it shapes you into someone beautiful from within. Because no amount of makeup or expensive clothes can make your personality glow the way kindness does. So start with the small things: a thank you, a smile, a helping hand. Speak gently, even when others don't. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. Each act of kindness you offer polishes your soul a little more, and soon your personality becomes something that speaks before you even open your mouth. Be kind, not because the world is kind to you, but because you want to make the world a kinder place, starting with yourself. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to stretch your mind just a little more than yesterday. Growth is not a one-time event, it's a daily practice. The more you learn, the more layers of your personality unfold. It's not about collecting degrees or reading hundreds of books. It's about staying curious, open, and hungry to understand the world and yourself a little better each day. A person who keeps learning never stagnates. They evolve. And that evolution becomes visible not just in how they speak, but in how they think, how they treat people, and how they handle life. Learning something new every day doesn't always mean studying. It can be as simple as observing how someone manages their emotions, watching how a child finds joy in small things, or listening to a story that changes your perspective. Every experience has something to teach you, if only you pay attention. When you make learning a habit, you develop depth. Your conversations become meaningful, your thoughts more profound, and your presence more inspiring. You start to radiate wisdom, not because you know everything, but because you're always willing to learn something. There's beauty in realizing that life itself is the greatest teacher. Sometimes it teaches you gently, and sometimes it teaches you through pain. The challenges you face, the mistakes you make, the people who walk in and out of your life, all of them carry lessons. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift in mindset transforms every experience into an opportunity for growth. And when you learn from your pain, you turn your wounds into wisdom. What truly refines your personality is not just what you know, but what you do with that knowledge. Knowledge becomes power only when it's applied with empathy, awareness, and humility. When you learn, don't just store information, live it. Let it reflect in your choices, your words, and your actions. A person who keeps learning becomes more understanding, less judgmental, and more resilient. They begin to see life with a broader perspective, and that's what makes their personality magnetic. The truth is, the world is changing every day, and so should you. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stop truly living. Make it a personal promise to yourself that every day you will pick up one new idea, one new insight, one new way of seeing things. Whether it's through reading, listening, or simply reflecting, feed your mind with something that makes you better than you were yesterday. Because your mind is like a garden. What you plant in it will shape the way you live and the way you shine. So keep planting seeds of knowledge, curiosity, and growth, and soon your personality will become a reflection of a mind that never stopped learning. One of the most powerful signs of a strong personality is emotional intelligence, the ability to understand your emotions, manage them, and respond to others with grace instead of impulse. You see, life will never go exactly as planned. People will misunderstand you, situations will test your patience, and sometimes no matter how kind you are, someone will still hurt you. But the way you choose to respond in those moments defines who you truly are. Anyone can be calm when everything is easy, but real strength is staying composed when the world around you is not. Emotional intelligence begins with awareness, noticing what you feel without being controlled by it. Anger, sadness, jealousy, fear, they are all human emotions, and you have every right to feel them. The key is not to suppress them, but to understand them. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What triggered this emotion? When you pause before reacting, you create space between emotion and response. And that small space is where your growth lives. It's in that pause that you decide whether to act out of impulse or out of wisdom. Sometimes people mistake silence for weakness, but silence is often the language of strength. It takes courage to walk away from an argument that leads nowhere, to choose peace over proving a point, to smile when it's easier to lash out. When you master your emotions, you no longer allow others to control your peace. And that's when your personality begins to glow, not because you are loud, but because you are grounded. It's also important to understand the emotions of others. Everyone you meet is fighting a silent battle, carrying unseen burdens. When you begin to listen with empathy and respond with understanding, you make people feel safe around you, and safety builds trust, the foundation of every meaningful relationship. You don't need to fix everyone's problems. Sometimes just being emotionally present is enough. A calm presence, a gentle tone, or a compassionate word can heal more than you realize. Emotional intelligence also teaches you forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. We all make mistakes, say things we don't mean, and react in ways we regret. But beating yourself up for it doesn't change the past. What changes your life is learning from it and choosing to do better next time. That's emotional maturity, accepting your imperfections, yet striving every day to respond with more love, more patience, and more understanding. Every day will bring moments that test your emotional balance. Some will provoke you, some will hurt you, and some will challenge everything you stand for. But each of those moments is an invitation, a chance to rise above reaction and respond with intention. When you master that art, you stop being driven by the chaos around you and start leading from calm within. Because the strongest person in any room is not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who chooses peace even when they have every reason not to. The energy you allow around you shapes the person you become, whether you realize it or not. Your surroundings, the people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, all influence your thoughts, your mood, and ultimately your personality. You cannot pour positivity from an empty cup, and you cannot grow in a place that drains your spirit. That's why it's so important to protect your environment like it's sacred, because it is. Sometimes the reason you feel stuck or uninspired isn't because you've stopped trying. It's because you're surrounded by energy that pulls you backward. Have you noticed how spending time with certain people makes you feel lighter, hopeful, and more alive, while others leave you feeling exhausted or doubtful? That's not a coincidence. Energy is contagious. The people around you either water your growth or slowly drain it. So choose your circle wisely. Be with those who push you to think bigger, who remind you of your worth, who celebrate your progress even when it's small. But this isn't just about people. It's also about the spaces you create for yourself. The music you listen to, the words you read, the thoughts you entertain, they all add layers to your personality. If your environment constantly feeds negativity, fear, or comparison, it's only a matter of time before you start reflecting those same emotions. But when you fill your space with gratitude, inspiration, and kindness, you begin to see life differently. You start to respond differently. You become calmer, more hopeful, more grounded. Of course, there will be times when you cannot control your surroundings completely. Not everyone around you will radiate positivity, and not every situation will be peaceful. But that's where your inner environment comes in. You can choose how much of that outside noise you let in. You can decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Not every opinion needs your reaction, and not every battle deserves your attention. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's necessary. It's what allows you to stay centered even when life feels chaotic. Sometimes protecting your energy means walking away, not because you're better than others, but because you've learned to value your mental and emotional health. It means setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and allowing yourself the space to recharge. The right people will understand that because they're doing the same for themselves. And when you surround yourself with such energy, growth becomes natural. You don't have to force it. It just happens. Your personality flourishes when it's nurtured by positivity. It becomes softer, yet stronger, calmer, yet more confident. You start attracting opportunities, people, and moments that align with who you truly are. So fill your space and inside and out with the kind of energy that reminds you of who you can be, because the company you keep will either limit your light or help it shine brighter. Choose the light every single time. Improving your personality is not something that happens overnight. It's not a sudden transformation. It's a slow, beautiful process that unfolds one day at a time. The most powerful change doesn't come from big, dramatic efforts. It comes from small, consistent actions repeated every single day. Consistency is what turns good intentions into lasting habits, and those habits are what shape your character. Anyone can be inspired for a moment, but the ones who truly evolve are those who stay committed even when the excitement fades. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when life feels too heavy and growth seems too far away. Those are the days that truly test your consistency. It's easy to be positive when everything goes your way, but the real strength of your personality is built on the days you choose discipline over comfort, effort over excuses, and progress over perfection. You may not see the results immediately, but every small effort is doing something powerful inside you. It's rewiring your thoughts, reshaping your mindset, and strengthening your spirit. The secret is to focus on becoming just a little better every day. One kind word, one thoughtful action, one moment of patience. Don't underestimate the power of those small steps. They may seem insignificant, but when you look back after a few months, you'll realize how far they've taken you. The person you are today is a result of the habits you practiced yesterday, and the person you'll become tomorrow depends on the choices you make today. Consistency also teaches you humility and patience. We live in a world that wants instant results, instant success, instant happiness, instant validation. But true growth doesn't work like that. You cannot rush self-improvement. You have to show up even when you don't see progress, trust the process even when it feels slow, and keep watering the seeds of effort even before they bloom. That quiet persistence, that's where your transformation truly begins. Some days it will feel like nothing is changing, but I promise you, something always is. Every time you choose to respond with kindness instead of anger, you strengthen your emotional control. Every time you stay true to your values, you build integrity. Every time you learn from a setback instead of giving up, you build resilience. Slowly, without even realizing it, your personality starts to evolve, not because you forced it, but because you lived it consistently. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, no matter how many times you fall. It's about believing in the person you're becoming and trusting that every small step counts. The beauty of life is that you don't need to take giant leaps to change. You just need to keep moving, one honest step at a time. Because in the end, greatness is not built in a single moment of inspiration, but in the quiet daily commitment to becoming the best version of yourself.